Hey y'all, so yesterday I was in my Bible and the Lord took me to Psalms 106 and 15, right? So I'm going to start from verse 13. It says, "They soon forgot his works. They did not wait for his counsel, but lusted exceedingly in the wilderness, and tested God in the desert, and he gave them their requests, but sent leanness into their soul." So I was like, God, I've never heard of leanness of the soul. So I was like, what does that mean? And it really means like the Lord saying, I'm going to give you exactly what you're asking for, right? And not just in the physical, in the spirit as well. And so it says he sent leanness into their soul. So I looked up the word send and what it meant, and it says order or instruct to go to a particular destination in a particular direction, right? So we know that it was the will of God for the children of Israel coming out of Egypt to go to a promised land. And many of us are usually, we have these moments where we're in this space that I like to call like the in-betweener, what the Bible calls the wilderness. So when the children were saved from Egypt, the Lord parted the Red Sea. It's the story of Moses, all of that. They had a time where they were in the wilderness, and they were in the wilderness way longer than they should have been. They complained the whole time. It was this whole big thing, right? And so the reason the Lord sent the leanness into their soul was because they kept complaining. They were building idols. They forgot about what the Lord had done for them. They started fellowshipping with the Gentiles. Like everything basically that the Lord was telling them not to do, that they did that. And so a lot of us are like that too. When we are in the in-between, the wilderness, the place from going from where we come from, our Egypt, or where we were in iniquity, we were in sin, where we were being sacrificed by our families, by our spouses, our ex-spouses, where we were in great turmoil or just not in the will of God. A lot of us get a word, or we just get fed up, we just get tired, and we start seeking him, we start seeking greater, we start seeking what we saw in our dreams. But in that in-between place, all you have is hope, because you're not necessarily hurting like you were in Egypt anymore, but you're not necessarily in the promise that the Lord has shown you. So you really have to hold on to hope. And it says that they despise the pleasant land. And so this is the thing. While they were in the wilderness, they felt like, oh, we ain't got no fish in Egypt. We had this, we had that, or whatever. Even though the Lord continuously provided what they asked him for. It says they despise the pleasant land, which means that although the people, the children of Israel and the children, that was coming out of Egypt, felt like the land was an unpleasant place, God deemed it pleasant. So what does that mean? If a place is pleasant, it can only be truly pleasant if the grace, love, peace, joy of God is in it. So although whoever this is for, and it's for me too, although you may feel like you're in a place of transition and all you have is hope, hold on to the hope. And a lot of people say grace is your salvation, but no, hope is your salvation. And I'll find that, and I can come and make another video about that. But it's really the hope that you have in the word of God, not doubting him, not allowing the enemy to taint you in this place of transition, because they weren't even supposed to be in the wilderness that long. So they end up, and this is the part where, because I don't want the video to be too long, but I really want to stress the fact that after he sends this leanness into their soul, they started gorging themselves on this food, eating stuff that was sacrificed, like dead food, like so many things that was like afflictions to their body. They started doing a lot that was like afflictions to their body in the physical, but it really what was going on in the spirit. By them turning away from God and, being like, this is what I want. You don't know what you're doing. You're taking too long, whatever. And the Lord giving them to themselves. It sent them into generations of exile, generations of turmoil, generations. And it says that many times in Psalms 106:43 says, many times he delivered them out, but they were brought down by their iniquity. So that means even after you asked me to give you what you wanted, I gave you what you wanted, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, y'all dying. I still continuously try to keep my promise, get you to the promised land that I showed you, but you continuously kept putting your hand in it, and that's why y'all have been in bondage for so long. So I would say in this season, I feel like a lot of us, a lot of believers, a lot of people that have their spiritual eyes and ears open, like it says in Ephesians 1:18, I believe that we feel it like in this season, even if it don't seem like it, you have to hold on to the hope. And my husband has been preaching on it, and he preached on it today about how it says that even though there was no hope to have, Abraham still had hope that he would be the father of many nations, that him and Sarah, his wife, would bear a child. They were in old age. He was like 100-something years old. And that's how we really have to be in this season, because that's really all you have, because the Lord is not a man that he should lie. He gains nothing by lying. And the path of the sinful, the path of the people that are going to hell is many. It says they run there. But the people who are going to meet him in heaven, it's a narrow path. And sometimes the journey take a little longer than expected. So just hold on to hope. I love y'all.